This is Lord of Mafka, aka Rogan Osrime, and in today's video, I want to talk about being kind to others never ends well. Now, I wanted to make this video because I've been wanting to do this for a while, because I remember a decade ago when I was a young boy, I was raised up to be very good, quiet, non-confrontational, law-abiding, the usual decent type of living that a child should have, right? But the issue with this is when you were raised up to be very nice, to be considerate to other people, to not speak up for yourself and not have a voice, this is when people are able to exploit you and make you their dog. And me, like many of other men, I have been used, I have been taken advantage of on many occasions, and a lot of people have never returned the goodness that I put out into the world. And that's what's so funny about these people who love to say, oh, you get what you put out there. Okay, so explain why me and tons of other guys who were good at a young age, we were always chill, non-confrontational. I used to run a lot of errands for family, friends. I used to go out my way to emotionally just really console these people around me. And guess what happened? Where were these people at when I got older and people were trying to harass and bully me, in real life for trying to make something of myself and get ahead in the world? Where were these people at when I had millions of girls trying to break me emotionally and when I got robbed twice in real life, What do you think these people told me? Oh, that's your issue. Suck it up. That's life. So it shows you, man, how you really can't be kind, Being kind will always be looked down upon as being weak. Being a worthless insect. That's what being kind is viewed as. So, if you want to sit here and tell me that being good to others is going to get you ahead in life, then take a good look at all of the people who were good their entire lives and now they have major health problems. They have no one around them who cares to check up on them. And they've been victims their whole lives. That's where being kind gets you. It makes you into a victim. And the problem from other people, it starts to get worse when you start speaking up for yourself. When you start telling people and letting them know, look, you're not going to disrespect me like this. You're going to treat me with the respect that's due. I'm going to speak my mind and words regardless if you like the crap or not. Then people want to tell you, oh, you're so disrespectful. You're so angry. You're so hard to be around. So wait a minute. I'm the issue, but yet you're not the issue for not trying to understand me and just bicker and argue with me for no reason. Like, make it make sense. You're not trying to have any type of critical thinking or empathy to see where I'm coming from. And this just shows you the very world that we live in. It respects harshness. It respects evil. It respects ruthlessness. It looks down upon love. It shuns the kind. It looks as generosity as a poor excuse of weakness. That is the type of world we're living in, man. The ruthless rise and the kind fall. Doesn't get any more realer than that. And if you can't handle being alone by yourself in 2025, especially as a man, you're just going to become even more of a victim to other people. You have to stop wanting to be in social groups. You have to stop wanting to be around people. I can tell you, for example, I was in many social groups when I was younger, from 14 to 19. I was very social. Online, I had 2 groups I was in real life in high school. You know what happened in all these groups? Nothing but nonsense. Nothing but people trying to say, oh, why don't you want to talk about this drama? I need everyone to be included in the group so we can just talk about worthless, senseless activities that don't mean anything. All of it, at the end of the day, it goes back to the same principle: ignorance, jealousy, resentment, vanity. That's where wanting to be comrades with people will get you. And I'm here to tell you that it's not worth it. Save yourself the tears, the heartache. You younger guys who may be listening, don't even try, man. Just go your own path in life, build something for yourself. It's going to be very hard out here, but you got to get yourself together. Be selfish, be as evil as you can as possible, and I'm talking about socially, not physically, right? Because you have to be a selfish and evil like person socially. You have to only care about how you can use other people to get ahead, because everyone else is doing the same to you. Do you think those people who left you where you are in your life, they care about what you're going through right now? That ought to tell you the type of person that you should be acting as. You should be acting as a very selfish person. You should be acting as a person who doesn't care about what others have to say or what they're going through unless it benefits you. And some people may not like to hear that, but it doesn't matter. Look at the world that we're living in. Look at the people that we're dealing with nowadays. These people do not care. They do not have any type of sympathy for you or what you're going through. I used to think that there were more good people than bad people in the world, from what I was raised to believe, from what people told me in the beginning stages of my life, to where people weren't so much of douchebags yet. I used to actually believe that, but no. There are more negative people than positive people in this world, guys. And this is why evil, negativity is always going to win. Because when you look back at history, how humanity has evolved, it's always been through a ugly synchronicity of just violence, of taking from other people, of doing others wrong. There are more negative events than positive events in history. This world thrives off negative energy. It thrives off the suffering of others. That's how the people in power win, because they understand this very principle. You cannot show any moment of weakness out here, man. And I've learned all these things the hard way. This is why I have the type of solid mindset I have today, to where I know, stay exactly to myself. Make it harder for people to connect with you, because that's what you have to do. And even with the people who can relate to you somewhat more than the average person can, with the traumas that you've been through, especially as a guy, you can't 100% trust them either. Because at the end of the day, you're both still dealing with mental dysfunction that you're fighting every day. And out of the two of you, one of you are going to snap a little bit more. You're going to become more bitter. You're going to become more hard to deal with because of all the things that you've went through. So that's what it's going to come down to. That's why I tell you, you have to be all out for yourself out here, man. It's not a joke out here. There are tons of people who would be alive today if they simply were just selfish. If they simply stopped caring about other people like that every day. If they only were just so hyper selective with the people that they allowed to have their energy, their time, they would still be here right now. But no one's not going to tell you this, because they want you to think, oh, just put out a good thought, put out a good energy, a vibration, and you'll just manifest everything. No. You have to be very strategic. You have to have a warlike mindset to get ahead out here, man. And it's not going to be easy, because you're going to be battling that trauma you went through. You know, you see me, myself, for example. I'm always battling with issues inside, guys. Insecurities of the past. Dealing with things right now that I have to go through financially wise. Dealing with things I have to go through just with people in general. So you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Is it worth your time to actually explore the unknown? Because you already know where the unknown gets you. So I just find it to be a sad process that a lot of us are going through. And a lot of us are not going to make it. You have to be really strong. You have to have a spirit of iron, of steel, to get through this type of suffering, man. And it's not going to get any easier out here, because people are not trying to make it easier. Imagine if people just said, you know what? we're going to be more easier to be around. We're going to be more respectful to other people. Even though we may not feel so 100% secure within ourselves, we're going to try and give other people a challenge. We're going to drop our negativity. We're going to drop all the bad ideologies on other people. Do you think we're ever going to have a time in history to where people actually do that? The hippies couldn't do it. Religion couldn't do it. The activist groups of Stop the Violence couldn't do it. It's never going to happen. So the only person that you need to be actively serving and keeping good is yourself out here, man. Because I can assure you, at this very moment, dude, there are people who will look at you, and people that you haven't even met yet, they will look at you and see you and say, all right, how am I going to get over on him today? How am I going to make him look like a fool? How am I going to set him up to make him feel like he's just vulnerable and has no power? That's the type of mentality that these people have out here. You have to go in with a mindset of you're not going to take any of this nonsense. You have to have the heart for this stuff. You can't show any weakness out here. You know, it's like you're in the pen. It's like you're in Supermax Penitentiary. You cannot show weakness out here. You know, one wrong move, one wrong vulnerability, then it's done. It's a closed deal. It's a done game. That's how the streets are. So if you really want to talk spicy out here, you want to get it together, you better be carrying yourself in the most solid way ever, being a one-man army. Just keep to yourself out here, guys. Stay out of trouble. Because it's not worth dealing with people nowadays, dude. Because we don't know what's going on with people before we even meet them. Even the people we see every day, we don't know what's going on in their mind. We don't know what they're trying to ideologically oppose on other people. We don't know what they're trying to do. So keep yourself protected at all times, dude. And remember, being kind, it never ends well, dude. There's only very few people you can be kind to. And even then, I would suggest you not to trust those people 100%. Keep your circle, tight as possible. But without further ado, I have to go, guys, because my freaking nose is running. The sinus is still killing me. And that just goes to show you, man, that you could be doing everything in your power to stay afloat and just be the best version of yourself. You're still going to face a lot of suffering every day, man. It's brutal, dude. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment section. I'll highly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the model woman. Thank you.